All right, I think it's up and running. What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching. This is an open mic slash hangout. Pip, how are you doing?
I am well. How are you?
All right.
Good, good. I did some stoner related activities today.
Yeah.
Um, I first smoked when I was about 21 years old. I'm 29 now, and I decided it was a good time to learn how to roll joints.
Oh, cool. Do you have one
Because
nearby that you can share?
um, I literally just smoked the one success.
Ah,
So I could show you like half of it because I didn't finish it.
sure.
But I rolled about four, and the only one to truly burn evenly and operate functionally as a joint was the last one.
Mm.
So I just think I just need a little bit more practice. But it got me wondering, do you think that people who do other rolling in their life, like if they're rolling burritos or like if they roll different things, do you think that they are better joint rollers just naturally because they're used to rolling?
Um, yeah, I think it's pretty much the same movements. I
The
mean, it's
same basic skill
different.
set.
Yeah. I mean, different sizes, but I think it would help. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think,
you know what? You know what? Similar is I had a dog for my whole childhood, and I would always walk the dog and pick up its business.
yeah.
And then when I got a job in food service, I had to pick up hot food without touching it,
Mm.
which is essentially what I had to do with my dog's poop, is pick it up without touching it. So those skills actually did transfer, I found.
Oh.
Right? Picking up dog poop is exactly like food service.
Maybe you would be good at the claw game.
Oh, I was terrible at the claw game, but those are ripoffs anyway.
Yeah. But also, that's a different thing because
Yeah.
you're doing this, but in the claw game, you're doing this. Or,
Right, you're operating a machine that doesn't operate as you would instinctively think it would.
yeah.
So that's kind of a ripoff. But I wish they would make a claw game that actually does involve you reaching your hand in there. Because I feel like that would be more fair.
That would be more fun. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking of pot related activities and rolling joints, I did get this great photo of me um, smoking a joint
Oh damn.
there. Uh,
That's pretty nice.
and I wanted the smoke covering my face. It does it perfectly, kind of.
Yeah, no, that's a great shot. And it obscures your identity too.
Yeah.
Although I guess
Here's one that I effed up. But there it is.
that one that'd be pretty good in that one too. Um, is it 100% legal there now? You go to a dispensary.
Well, no dispensaries have opened that I know of, but anywhere that you're allowed to smoke a cigarette, you can smoke outside. So
Damn, so that's like a lot of places.
yeah,
It's different, man.
they're even talking about opening up lounges. This I don't, but
And
can't do.
overall, I just wonder what the prices are going to be and how much they're going to come up from street prices now that it's been legalized.
Yeah, yeah.
Because from what I've heard, places like Illinois, they're spending $60, $80 an eighth, or something dumb like that.
I've paid that.
It's not fair, Sean. You could do better.
No, it's true. Well, I haven't paid that recently. I was in Times Square recently. I was having a coffee, a morning coffee. I walked over to Times Square to have a morning stroll,
Coffee.
and some guy wanted to sell me some weed. I was like, oh no, I'm good. And he was like, well, just smell it. And I was like, all right. He just wanted me to smell the weed he was smelling. I was like, that's good.
Yeah, that sounds like just a friendly action.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it almost win you over a bit?
No, but I now know that if I'm in a pinch, I will very easily be able to just walk to Times Square, and
Nice.
you know maybe even.
I don't remember where do you live that's super walkable to Times Square.
Oh, I live in Hell's Kitchen. I live like
Oh,
10 minutes.
nice.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Hell's Kitchen. It makes me think of Daredevil.
Yeah. I wasn't that much of a fan. I didn't
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I didn't want to. The show felt too violent for me. I don't know.
It was very violent, but I just got such a kick out of Vincent D'Onofrio's take on the Kingpin. He was scary, and he came off like he had some kind of anxiety disorder, and you don't normally see that in a supervillain. So I thought that was an interesting spin. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio, he kind of tends to play these like characters who have very like um kind exteriors almost or delicate, and yet they project this sort of psychotic undertone to them, and he's just so good at doing that.
I just realized I don't have my microphone plugged in.
Oh no.
Am I fine though?
So have I not really been hearing you this whole time?
No, I mean you.
Just kidding, Sean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just telling buddies. Yeah. Well, who are our guests for today?
Well, I have a former stand-up student, Arena, who said she might drop in and try some stuff. But then I had 4 random people sign up, 5 random people, and they're not here.
Nice. I hope they troll us again. We need to talk about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did they not contact you remotely before you were posted on that video? Sorry, I can't words today.
We should tell people what happened if people are watching.
Yeah, we should probably.
I haven't even checked if people are watching. We just lost somebody.
Oh, no. Who did we lose?
Right as I was going to check. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell her anyway that a few weeks back we were doing this very show, and we had a guest who turned out to just be a series of very distracting, very disruptive videos of just people screaming at us, and they were always a different person, and a new 30-second clip of someone yelling at us would pop up every 30 seconds or so. It was impossible to get any jokes out or to have a conversation, but we just decided to go with it because we figure maybe this person is doing some really abstract comedy that we don't fully understand. Maybe this is like some kind of Andy Kaufman-esque meta humor. And turned out we were kind of right. It was Zoomer humor, which is going to be a genre. It'll be a Wikipedia article within 5 years, Zoomer humor.
Sure.
And Zoomers really, really like to fuck with people on the internet. So I guess what they were doing was they were pranking us by just fucking with our show. And then they posted a video entitled, do you want to read the title, Sean? I don't have it in front of me.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay, well, it was something along the lines of trolling high people. They wouldn't kick me out of their Zoom. And it was all like caps lock or like, why won't these people kick me out? And I'm like, because you're our guest. That's why we're not going to kick you out. We're good hosts. So
that's what he wanted to do. So we let him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're opening up the floor to be continuously fucked with, but I think that's okay.
I don't know.
26,000 views is more than we typically get on these shows. Am I right?
Yeah, it's true. It burns a little, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care for that top comment. I believe the top comment was, these guys would have been cool as fuck when they were younger. Like, well, shit. First of all, how old do I look to Zoomers? Because I'm still under 30, and I could be wrong, but I think I look maybe just under 30. You don't look like an old man, Sean, so I don't know where they're coming from. Like, are we too old to be cool?
No, I think my beard has grayed over the past year, and I think I make us both look older.
Damn.
Next to me looks older.
You can't blame yourself for me looking old, Sean. That's not fair to you.
Okay.
Plus, your beard makes you look distinguished. It doesn't make you look old. It's a good look. Jay Leno did it. What's his name? Who is that American Idol guy who was like 25 with a full gray head of hair?
Steve Martin?
No. Steve Martin's another guy who was gray when he was young.
Yeah.
Fucking Taylor Hicks. That's the name of the guy. He was American.
I was about to say Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, well, Anderson Cooper. Yeah, he definitely makes great work. But I don't think he's 25.
All right. So yeah, we got trolled, and I thought they were gonna be back, but maybe not, which is fine.
And I've been getting trolled for years, so I'm used to it. It's fine.
I would get not wanting to troll us again so soon because we were expecting it.
Yeah, it doesn't work when you're expecting it.
I don't know. I think it would be still funny.
I think it might be. But I think that what made that video funny is that we weren't sure what was going on, and now we would be. So it would be like, oh, hey, they're doing it again, and that's way less entertaining.
Yeah. I guess I should post the link in the Facebook chat so people can watch it.
Yeah, we should definitely do that.
When they're done with this.
Of course. Oh, you don't want to interrupt.
And if anybody's watching and wants to come on, shoot me a message. And you can come on the show.
Yeah, anybody's welcome. We are.
Maybe you have jokes to try or a story to tell.
Yeah, maybe something weird happened to you today. Like maybe you're working on a new hobby you want to talk about. Maybe your uncle has COVID or something. Anything that you feel like you want to discuss, this is the place to do it. It's the most open of open mics.
That's right. It's the open mic with no jokes. Pip, I have gone to a few open mics in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah? How's that going?
They haven't been fun.
Open mics have never been fun, Sean. You know that. That's why you tried to produce your own show. Because open mics fucking suck. I mean, I know there's a lot of comedians out there who talk about the grind and who talk about how much they love open mics. And I promise you they're lying. Or they're psychotic. Those are the only two types of people who say that they like open mics.
I really expected it to be more relaxed and like fun since things have opened up, but I think people were not relaxed.
Oh no, man! They all haven't done live comedy in years already. Right. Not to mention, everybody probably thinks of this as their comeback. You know, I'm starting over now. This is real, so people are going to be very intense at the beginning, I imagine. What else happened that wasn't fun?
Oh, that's it. It was just like shows were too long. The host would try out material in between each performer, like that.
Is that no good?
No,
I know a lot of hosts who do that.
I hate it because it's like 5 minutes for a comedian and then 3 minutes for the host, and then 5 minutes for a comedian and then another 3 minutes for the host.
Well, 3 minutes is too long, but I would say 30 seconds to a minute for a host is totally okay.
Sure. I'd say 30 seconds tops, but yeah.
At least you could say something funny. You could play off their joke a bit, I think.
Yeah.
But I've always been a fan of the host that's just quick, gracious. Keep it going for.
Yeah.
That's it. You know.
More of that. More of just keeping life going. That's what.
Especially at an open mic, because an open mic isn't even a show. Yeah. It's an open mic. So when hosts get up there and they treat the open mic like it's a real comedy show, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it depends on the mic, I suppose, because there's always those mics that are like at comedy clubs where they charge a $5 cover and they ask you to bring a couple people for the mic, and those they try to like frame like they're real shows. But I'm just so opposed to that because it's supposed to be practice. And putting an open mic in a high-pressure situation just doesn't make any sense to me. and framing it for the audience who aren't performing like they're seeing some real comedy is also disingenuous. Um,
I'm out of water.
not to mention it makes people not want to come back to your comedy shows because they saw you do open mics. And they're like, get out of here. That was terrible. Um, but yeah, I mean, are you thinking of producing your own shows in the city?
I thought about doing something. I complained about open mics, and I was like, maybe I'll do an open mic in my living room, and sell like edibles to people.
I mean, that's one option.
Yeah,
But you could also do an open mic, in a place, like
yeah.
a real place.
It'd be easier to do it here. It wouldn't be the ideal space, but it would just be easy to do it.
Yeah, true. I did an open mic in my basement for like a year, and that was pretty easy.
Oh, was that in
Um,
Philly or Jersey?
Jersey.
Oh,
I never lived in Philly, Sean. I only went there sometimes because of RH, who would
got it.
book me there sometimes.
You were close to there. I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, it's only an hour and a half drive or so.
Yeah. Where in the country have you not seen that you would like to see?
I'd like to see the Pacific Northwest.
I've never been
I'd
there.
like I'd like to see Maine and like the upper New England states.
Oh yeah,
I've been to Boston, but I haven't really seen most of New England.
yeah.
Um, those two are big. I'd like to go to Southern California, but I've been there as like a teenager. I didn't really know what I was doing. I'd like to go back and do it right. What about you?
I've been to Maine as a kid. I have no interest in going back, so I don't
Yeah,
remember.
was it boring?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound fun. I don't know. I know it's cold in the
Yeah.
winter, um, which it's not currently winter, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. I've never seen the Pacific Northwest though. I either.
Yeah, I know it rains a lot. I know they've got some kooky people, which I'm a fan of. I like weird
Yeah.
people.
I
Um,
like the TV show Twin Peaks, and there's shots of Washington State that look beautiful. You know.
Twin Peaks um, is well, Twin Peaks is an interesting show. I actually just started rewatching that a couple days ago, and I'm always taken aback how weird Cooper is.
How
He's
he?
just such a
How what?
weird guy.
Oh, he is weird. Yeah.
How weird he is. He's just such a weird guy. And then as you watch the show, you gradually begin to see that he is the only normal guy in a insane world.
It always did strike me that the people of Twin Peaks were very accepting of Agent Cooper's eccentricities.
Yeah, but that's all because they were also pretty eccentric. They just hit it better.
Yeah. Um, what do, I guess people are eccentric everywhere. Is there a least eccentric part of the U.S.?
Probably there are places where conformity is more expected than others. Yes. I would say certainly rural places have less eccentric people than Williamsburg.
I don't know. Rural might be
Uh,
super eccentric. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, maybe there's weird people everywhere, but there's just such a understanding that weird people leave, the suburbs and the rural areas to go to the cities that are more accepting.
Hmm.
So maybe they have the weird people, but they just don't feel comfortable expressing themselves. But I don't know. I never really lived in a rural place. Even when I lived abroad, I was in a city.
Hmm.
And now I'm in Boulder, Colorado, which is certainly not rural.
Yeah.
Um,
I lived
uh,
in. I went to college in West Virginia for like 2 years, but it was a
say
city.
it was different.
It wasn't really farms. It was just like a smaller city. It's like Cleveland is a small city, and then Wheeling is just like an even smaller city.
Yeah, Cleveland is definitely a sad place.
Is what?
A sad place.
Oh, Well, there's factories and pollution that doesn't make for like happy sunsets.
I
Oh,
mean, you know,
my
there are
student,
factories. Oh, your student's coming on.
no, she said she's just sent an email that she won't make it tonight.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, now somebody's calling me.
I'm sure I could get someone to join us.
Sure. Look at this phone.
If
It's
you know, Jason is watching. Why doesn't Jason come on?
but Jason's at work.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
What up, Jason? We love you.
I'm gonna
You
go.
are one of the greatest.
I'm gonna go and mute for a second.
Sure thing. I was um I was thinking about love, and I've reached a point in my life where I'm not really looking for love anymore. What I'm looking is for something that I don't think I could get, which is just easy, meaningless sex. That's all I want right now. But that's really hard because, you know, Tinder, I have just a still photo to compete with everybody, you know? And there's lots of guys with like 8 packs who are way taller than me and who know how to be charming on the internet. And I don't know how to do that. So I just don't know how to distinguish myself with internet dating. So the only option, the only recourse is to get people to like me. And the problem is when people like you is they want to spend time with you and date you, and that's fucked up. I don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to find meaningless sex. And man, it's even harder out here because everyone here is like a god or a goddess. People in Boulder, Colorado, very fitness centric place. A lot of big, tall, beautiful white people. Not a lot of short, awkward Jewish people. And so I'm exotic out here, which is sometimes a point in my favor, but mostly it's just tough. And that's my lament right now. But I just, well, the truth is that I just want somebody who will hate my personality but love me for my beautiful body. That's what I'm looking for. And if you or you know anybody who might fit that description of somebody who would only be attracted to me for my physical features, legitimately, no matter who they are, put them like in touch with me. I will talk to them. We'll figure something out because that is probably going to happen to me at some point in my life. But I don't think it'll happen more than once or twice. I'm gonna fall in love like a zillion times. But am I ever going to have a purely physical relationship? I don't know. I'm almost 30 and I've never done that, which is just I need to. It's on my bucket list.
I'm back. What did I miss?
Oh, I've just been ranting about relationships.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've been talking about how I want to meet somebody who hates my personality, but only likes me physically.
Oh,
Right? That's the goal.
you should just on every dating app that you're on, you should just put that as your like profile bio and see what that does.
I mean, you know, I can't. That's the thing. Like, it's gonna be a challenge. I don't feel bad about this. Everybody looks a certain way. I like the way I look, but the truth is that I don't get a lot of Tinder matches. And my friends are like, "Well, why don't you start an OkCupid?" And I'm like, "Fucking no. That's the point. I don't want to try. I want to have meaningless, easy sex. I want to look like Bradley Cooper. I want to be the one that everyone swipes right on." And that's something I could never have, which is super frustrating.
Uh,
And that's my rant for today.
you could try this app called Field, FEELD. That's all sex and nothing else.
All sex and nothing else.
I guess some emotional connections here and there, if that's what people.
I've never come across it personally. I mean, and part of that I think is because I started really late because I was raised in a very religious environment. So you know, I got to college and that's when I started like talking to people.
Hmm.
Um, But I really just think that like having a meaningless relationship would be the most meaningful thing right now for me.
Hmm. You might be onto something. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. I think this is at least a good concept
Yeah.
to play with for comedy.
If I get into one of those, I'll let you know.
What, meaningless sexual relationship?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I can't think of anything more beautiful. Imagine like having an extended relationship, purely sexual, no commitment, no fight, just the experience. It just sounds wonderful. Or maybe you could figure out a way to fix your actual relationships. But that just
Um,
sounds like the work that I want to avoid.
Meaningless sex is the subject matter of two or three Bob Seger songs.
Oh yeah, like which ones?
Um, Beautiful Strangers. It's a deep cut.
I've never heard of Beautiful Strangers.
Yeah, we weren't lovers, just plain strangers, or something like that. That's a pretty good song. It's
Yeah.
about I'd not. It's Friends with Benefits, but in the '70s.
Yeah. I'm sure I could friends with benefits sounds like a little too much because then we have to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be friends with anybody.
Yeah.
That sounds like more work than a relationship. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna have sex and then we're gonna play video games together and maybe go to a barcade. Sounds like a relationship to me.
Mm. Jay Cunis says Night Moves. I think that also counts. Yeah.
Yeah, night moves is about practicing like sex, which is something that I think every man should do.
Hmm.
Every man and every woman should be rehearsing because same reason every comedian should be rehearsing before they get on stage.
So
So,
good. That's good advice.
yeah, so I like night moves because it has a really positive message about how nobody's good at sex the first couple times. You really gotta work on it. It's like any other skill.
Geez, these songs from our childhood really did have important lessons for us. It's too bad, like, I didn't listen to the lyrics.
I mean, we didn't start the fire is a whole history lesson.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to take classes if you learn the lyrics to that song. You'll pretty much know everything that happened between 1950 and 1985.
Yeah.
The Cola Wars, Sean. You know about the Cola Wars?
It sounds familiar. But was that
Well,
in
the reason I
Pennsylvania?
bring it up, the reason why I bring it up is because Billy Joel ends his big epic song filled with historical references from the last 25 years, all about, current events like the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Kennedy and all that shit that happened. And his final lyric is rock and roll and Cola Wars. Why did he close it on the Cola Wars? I don't understand. But the Cola Wars were in the late 80s. Coke was finally eclipsed by Pepsi in sales, and everybody panicked because they didn't know what that meant for us culturally. Like, could America survive if Coca-Cola was not the number one soft drink? People weren't sure. Guys like George Will would write thought pieces on it. And Coca-Cola, in an act of sheer desperation, decided to change their historic formula for Coke because they realized that maybe people were just looking for something new. And Pepsi was the hot drink. It was the young person's drink. And Coke wanted that fucking young person money.
Right.
So they developed New Coke, which I'm sure if I say New Coke, most people at least who have any knowledge of 80s culture will know that New Coke was a spectacular failure. However, what New Coke did do successfully is it rejuvenated interest in the classic Coke formula that never actually went away. So Coke changed the label on the original Coke, called it Coke Classic, and then Coke Classic began to eclipse Pepsi in sales. And
Brilliant.
Coke was back at number one. So for years, there were conspiracies that New Coke was just a marketing ploy to get classic Coke out there because
Yeah.
it turned out in their favor. Everybody at the Coca-Cola industry from the time has always denied that. They always said, no, New Coke was an actual huge fuck up. and we're sorry. But I don't know. It just worked out too well for a historic fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Pepsi ever got back ahead of Coke. And this was the reason why I'm telling you the story. It was so significant for the culture at the time. It was like the things that people used to talk about over dinner in the 80s were the satanic death cults, rock lyrics, and fucking Coca-Cola, the Cola Wars. So much so that Billy Joel in his magnum opus to sum up the entire latter half of the 20th century, he closed on the Cola Wars. And I just think that's fascinating. Maybe you're not impressed, Sean, but I think it's fascinating.
I'm sure family members thought about it at the dining room table. Definitely. I don't want to.
What do you? Hey, I'm not making this up. You could Google the Cola Wars. It's a real thing that people had real stakes in. I mean, it's not unlike the chicken sandwich wars of 2019.
Oh yeah. Hey, history repeats itself.
Always, man. I mean, Popeyes came out of nowhere and they're like, we're going to do sandwiches now.
Right.
And a couple people died, which is crazy. I don't think anybody actually died in the Cola Wars, unless you count the people who were working at like the Coke plants, because I'm sure they have.
Who died at the chicken sandwich?
Some guy in Maryland killed someone over a chicken sandwich because they had run out.
Oh.
And people were selling them on the streets. They were selling scalped chicken sandwiches.
Wow.
2019 was the craziest year ever until 2020 happened. And unfortunately, that's been true for several years now. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Well, there you have it.
Try it, Sean.
Yeah. I'm good with calling it here. We didn't have people show up. We haven't done this in a while, so this is...
You don't have anything else to say?
Nah.
I gave you 4 minutes on the Cola Wars. You got nothing. Okay, fine. All right. That's okay, Sean. Before we go,
Oh, you cut out. I don't hear you. Nothing. It might be internet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just going to say, once we say goodnight, everybody, you and I should talk for just a moment.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everybody, you can follow me on Twitter at Pip the Comic. I'm really funny sometimes. I can't make Sean laugh, but I can make other people laugh sometimes.
Yeah.